welcome to April 8th. If you had a chance to see the eclipse yesterday, if you didn't, you're still here. Seen or unseen, you're still here. It is the 9th. There's a lot of people who will hear about it. Some who have been to a previous one, or at some point the conversation comes around in a dialogue to missed opportunities. Challenge is, if you missed the eclipse and you hadn't seen one before, you don't really know what you miss. If you start a business and you miss it, you don't stick with it, you don't know what you missed. Start a relationship, you don't stick with it, you don't know what you missed. So the question then becomes today, what's the missed opportunity that's coming? It's just on the horizon. And it'll show up and say something to the effect, well, I can't right now. Or I don't have time. Or that's not important. Or 1,001 things. Ask yourself this question. Is there an opportunity that's coming my way that there's a good chance I might miss it? See, one of the first things in ending delusional thinking is that I've probably missed a lot of great opportunities. Bert Goldman, who's known as the American monk, says these are source foundation. Simple things that cause us to take path, to go down a particular fork in our future. So how do you not miss a magnificent opportunity, a miraculous opportunity? You gotta be looking for it. Hardest thing to look for is the thing we don't know we're looking for. Why gratitude is so important. It's why paying attention to your energy is so important. So what would gratitude look like? So you don't miss an opportunity. What would it look like? Write it down. I'm so happy and grateful now that Use your expansive vocabulary to craft and own a blessing that says, I will be aware of the subtleties. The opportunities don't typically, Jim Rohn says, rarely will a good opportunity interrupt you. Rarely will a great idea barge into your misery and say, here I am. You've got to give it space. You've got to give it depth and breath and light, life. How many of us have ever been afraid to help somebody, to offer assistance, because they were in a particular mood? You follow me? Somebody's in a particular mood and you're like, they're a little edgy right now. They're a little bit assaholic right now. They're a little bit, maybe later I'll help them. Maybe later I'll serve them. Is it possible that your dreams, the thing you are thinking of that wants to serve you, wants to help you, wants to be in your world, wants to align and alight and bring alive your dreams, is like, I'll wait till they're in a better mood. And it winds up a missed opportunity. Think about it for just a moment. Over the last 24 hours, if you had a choice to be with you or someone else, energetically, the way you were feeling, the way you were acting, the way you were talking, your energetic soul, would it be with you? Or would it have said, I'd rather go outside and kick stones? What would its response be? Your higher self, as much as it loves you, as much as it thinks you're amazing, are there some times when you're just so fascinating, you'd rather go outside and kick stones? Would you say there's a chance there's some missed opportunity? I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm aware of my awareness, because through my DMP, my intention setting, whatever tool it is that you want to use to put your focus in place, I'm now aware. And I promise you, the awareness can become consuming. When you know that you're looking, Can you begin to trust yourself? Can you begin to believe in yourself? Is it possible? Is it probable? Is it doable? What does it take for belief? How much slower do you need to begin to live life so that you can become more aware, to have more, to live it at a breakneck speed? You'll be surprised. What does your gratitude sound like? Become more aware. Gain access. The opportunities as close as your skin. What blockages are popping up? What fears, what doubts, what delays? Whose voice do you hear? What task are you being told you need to work on instead of this? What are you being pushed to that you're being told is more important or more valuable or more urgent than this? Ask yourself, is it? when would be a good time to catch all your opportunities?
Wide awake while the world is sound asleep, and too afraid of what might show up while you're dreaming. Nobody sees you.
All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? How are you? How are you? I hope everybody is doing well on this Tuesday morning, Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday post eclipse. Eclipse was pretty cool yesterday. No babies yet. Still no babies. Oh my goodness. Thought maybe the aliens were gonna come get him. Nope. Give a check now real quick. And Nola's laying down. Lily's scratching her butt against the fence, so it's all good. What'd you learn? What'd you like from that little exercise about opportunities? What'd you learn? What'd you like? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We have 2 sets of campers left. They're leaving this morning, bright and early. Awfully cool. Little rain coming, cooling things off. Morning, Beamish.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Paul.
You know, this is a good topic today, and it got me thinking about how my mindset changed years ago. And I always loved that the quotation that you see from Richard Branson, that, if an opportunity is laid in front of you, just say yes and figure it out along the way. And I kind of, this reminded me that sometimes, if you got to get all your ducks in a row before you say yes, a lot of times the opportunity is passed and you've missed out. So, yeah, it was kind of neat. Yesterday, I got to watch the eclipse right outside of Mom's porch. And Canada was one of the best places. There were tons of people in Niagara Falls because that was supposed to be the place. We didn't have a total here, but it was like that close. And it was kind of interesting how I got thinking about how all those people took the opportunity, and they came from all over the world there to be in Niagara Falls, and it was cloudy, and they didn't know whether they were going to see it or not, and yet it was like there were a few seconds in there right when it happened that it just cleared long enough for everybody to experience it. And I thought to myself, oh yeah, God has a hand in this. All those people weren't coming for nothing. But it was, yeah, it was different from the one in 1979. I remember the one in 1979 too. And it was not like this. I was sitting on the deck and the freaking birds were just going nuts. It was like they didn't know what to do. There was a lot of squawking and but it was at first I wasn't I thought, what the heck, like who cares, right? And then I thought, well, this is not coming around, at least in our area in my lifetime. And then, watching some of the stuff, them talking about down the road, these aren't even going to happen anymore. And it's like, okay, um, and it was funny because my mom was upstairs and I was working on some stuff, and she yells down, "It's happening." So I hightailed it upstairs, and we got her a chair. We both sat out that was the cool part this time, with my mom being 92 and being able to experience this. And just to see the awe in her face was it was pretty cool. So yeah, it just made me made me think that I'm coming up to 7 years with my company, April 27th, and I'm thinking, yeah, you know what, if I hadn't had taken that chance back then, where would I be right now? And I'm in a company that's growing in leaps and bounds right now, and being able to be one of the founding members and all those things, they don't mean a lot to others, but they speak to me, when I go back and I'm thinking, Jesus, like, how the hell did we ever do this? Like putting orders through on a fax machine and, and, and having to ship out product ourselves to people. And it just goes to show that if you don't give up, and part of the reason I think my business is successful is because I always find a solution. I don't give up. There's always a way or a workaround. As one of our leaders says, it's figure outable. And I love that word because that's basically what we do all the time, whether it's working with prospects and customers, or whether it's, working on on growing our business. So, yeah, great. I loved it this morning. Great topic. And sometimes we just need to sit back and I think that's what yesterday did. I think a lot of people afterwards just, were talking about it, were and reflecting on, it's funny how you just kind of reflect on your life at that moment and think, wow, what a great opportunity we had. And there are going to be lots of people today that are going to have FOMO. And it's sorry for your luck, but there's many of us that took took advantage of the situation. And you know, and for me too, I thought, isn't it great that, you know, I have a business that allows me just to stop and go out and, you know, take that half an hour and whatever it is, and just be able to do that, and, you know, not be behind some, you know, cubicle wall that, you know, I got to be working and I'm going to miss the whole thing. So, although there were a lot of places that canceled work and everything yesterday just because they knew it was going to be crazy as far as traffic and all that kind of stuff. So, but I'm sure there, you know, I know of a friend of mine who, you know, the bigwigs were coming up for the States for a big meeting today, and, you know, they were going to miss it. And they said, you know, they told their wife, they said, you got to go. You got to go to your friend in Port Stanley. So they went to Port Stanley right on the lake, and they, you know, her and her grandson, they experienced it there. So, um, you know, for some people, you know, he said to her, he says, like, you know, he says, it sucks that I can't be there, but, you know, I want you to experience it so you can tell me about it. So anyway, thanks. It was a great meditation, and time to think back on you know, on different things this morning. So thank you.
You're welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad it served. Yeah, it's, you know, there's people who say, yeah, but they can come up with a bunch of either reasons or excuses. And I usually ask, when somebody asks me a question that seems like it might be an objection, that there's an answer to. When anybody asks me a question that there's an answer to, which is probably the majority of questions I get asked, if I'm in developing mode, building my businesses, I'll ask the question, are you looking for, the answer to this question, will it be the reason to get started or the excuse not to? Either way, I'm fine with it, but I want you to determine what the answer is going to do. Why are you seeking this answer? Because in seeking the answer, you will find the answer you're looking for. I just want to know, are you looking for a reason to get started or an excuse not to? Because the answer to that question will serve as both. And then that puts the onus back on them to own their own presentation. I have a conversation. They own what's being presented to them, right? Responsibility and possibility. They see what they want to see. So I just know how to not be manipulated. And that's what good salespeople are, is they're the ones not manipulating, but they won't be manipulated. I won't be manipulated. Now, I may not be aware sometimes and be consciously cognizant that I'm being manipulated. And that's where buyer's remorse and all of that other stuff comes in. For the most part, my years of experience, I've learned to not be the reason for their excuse. Wellness world, big reason that anybody, a trainer, a holistic practitioner, they get blamed for everything. They get blamed for aspirins and medicines and nutritionals and, oh, the pill's too big. How many of you have heard that? The pill's too big. They got pill cutters. Good Lord, knucklehead. If you want it, you can find it. So, yeah. So missed opportunities. That's the one that, because listen, if we were in that, well, it came across Dallas area. So, but there's probably not a snowball's chance in Haiti that I would have gotten in a car to drive someplace to witness what I witnessed yesterday. But to witness it, and because it's, you know, it came right over where I live, you can't like not see it unless you didn't look up. It was kind of cool. It was very cool. To watch it just go and the darkness didn't happen till it was 95, 98%. And then so all of that's how powerful the sun is. That's how powerful you are. You can be blocked out 50% and it's not noticeable. Some of you are running on 50% of your potential. The sun, that you feel for sunburn, the intensity of the sun got, but the light really didn't change noticeably enough. If I woke up today and the moon was halfway over, halfway eclipsed, I wouldn't know unless I had glasses to see it, unless I had the ability to see it. I wouldn't have said, "Wow, the sun feels awesome today." It's not as intense. But the light would be the same, and I wouldn't be able to notice. It's like the difference between eggshell white and eggshell white on the south side of a mountain, right? The colors at the 1,001 colors at Lowe's or Home Depot or any of the big box stores. But it was right until it was almost completely covered. Like that much left is when it started to get dark. And soon as that much came out, it was light again. It didn't need the whole sun. But yet when we have the whole sun, so your success doesn't need all of you, it needs a piece of you. But when you decide to put your pieces together and you become whole, Katie, look out. So that's my conversation for you today. So I appreciate you all this morning. I'm going to go take care of Lamb Watch 2024. And I got to tell you, the campers, everybody cleaned up. It's such a amazing experience. Everybody, a little trash bag right next to their fire pit. And it's leave it better than you found it. They sure as heck did. And I just got to tell you, if this is what camping experiences are like, we're doing this for every holiday. I don't need to be on the lake. I loved meeting these doctoral students, 8 doctoral students in medicine, in science and medicine, and one who's kind of astrophysicist. And yeah, they're just all good eggs. What a bunch. It was so much fun playing with them. Yes. Good morning, Mr. Brad Chambers.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
I know you have Lamb Watch to go to, but I'm just going to share something real fast.
Yeah,
okay?
Sure.
So I asked a question yesterday. Did you tell me to when I was over at the
yeah.
So he said, anybody else have any questions? I said, I have a question. I said, so what is something that you get excited about the capabilities here that no one ever asked you the question? And just the look on his face was priceless. He goes, that's a good question. There's a lot of answers for that one. He just goes off on he's an engineer and just went down the whole trail. It was so cool. I was like, oh, I wish Sean was here.
But do you see how intelligent that question is?
Yeah, it invites a lot of answers.
And we got 2 ears and 1 mouth, and what's Carnegie said, the most beautiful sound to anybody is the sound of their own name, and the most important topic to them is them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I promise you, he has never been asked that question before.
The look on his face confirmed that.
And that's such a simple question. What's the thing you love talking about that nobody ever asks you about? And the reason is because I can't know what he loves because I don't know what he loves.
Mm-hmm.
But I know what I love, and he's trying to figure out, and he's wishing he could talk about what he loves, but he can't because he doesn't think I love it. And all of a sudden, he's got to tell me all of the right facts, tell, stories, sell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
if you ever have a sore throat and don't want to talk but feel obligated, just ask that question. And nod your head. So thank you, brother.
Didn't that feel good? That felt good.
It did. It was fun.
You were like the genius. Everybody else probably went,
oh. It's exactly what they did. Like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Who's this guy?
I love it. So it was a
Listen,
good term.
when you guys see that I'm the wizard behind the curtain, I'm not the
So,
big fiery head that's on a chair somewhere.
so let me ask you that question. What's something that you want to talk about no one asked you, Mr. Sean G. Murphy?
How amazing my friends are, and I get to
Uh-huh.
watch and witness. And one of the and this is and it's serious. And one of the things is that what you just experienced yesterday, for me to hear you experience that, it's like watching a parent watch their kids grow up. And that you now listen, you now have that tool available for how long? From now until forever.
Mhm.
And that's what my goal is to teach forever skills as opposed to temporary algorithms. So when I see you all use these tools and come back and say, it really it really works. It did what you said it was gonna do. I know. I'm pretty dang sure I know because I've done it 1,000 times. And because it's so odd in our language and odd in our no, when you ask a question that nobody's ever heard and nobody's ever asked to people who they've never had a chance to respond to that. You talk about a showstopper.
And because you know he's practiced that in his head many, many times, just waiting for that opportunity.
And
Because it
then
was
when
like
I
10 minutes of no break in between what he was saying.
really, it's kind of like somebody walking up to you and saying, "Hey, listen, would you like to go out on a date?" You're like, me? You sure you're asking me? Right? It's one of those questions, and there's a handful of them. There's a bucket full of questions like that just absolutely it makes you the spotlight shiner.
Mm-hmm.
He talked for 10 minutes about stuff nobody's ever heard before, and he was more excited than anything else. But you know what he's always going to remember? He went home to his family and said, I got asked one of the greatest questions I've ever been asked today.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, you're driving in your truck.
Love that. That's
Talk.
one of the things that one of the guys I worked with at where I came from, he calls me periodically and he's like, man, I just miss you, Brad. I miss your energy when you come in there. He said, one of the things I always admired about you is like, it didn't matter who was in the room and how important they were. If you didn't know, you just asked the question. I was like, well, I learned that from a very wise man. Ask the question. I started reading that book, brother, that you told me to download, the 3 Feet from Gold. On chapter 3. I'm like, wow, this is Sean again, 100%.
It's a good book.
It is. It's very good. I love it. Love it. So go take care of your sheep, my friend. And I'm shocked that there are no lambs. I'm just
You
wow.
gotta be kidding me. I keep looking at Lily. I'm waiting for him to just unzip and crawl out the side.
Does that one have twins or triplets or something?
I hope she has at least twins. Because that ain't coming out that hooter hole. It just, I don't know how that, whatever is in there, it better be two of whatever it is. They ain't that big.
Ooh, I'm excited to see it.
It's gonna be fun. We're really excited. And Michelle, we had a false alarm the other day. I was tired and I was looking at it and there was a shadow and it looked like legs were hanging out of her posterior. And I said, Lily's having her baby. And Michelle like cut her leg shaving. She like, what? And then I had to holler back going, false alarm. She goes, I cut my leg for that. I saw Michelle's leg yesterday while we were sitting on the front porch, basking in our eclipse success. And I said, what happened to your leg? She goes, that's when you yelled, Lily's having her baby. I'm like, oops, sorry.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Thanks, Brad, for sharing that. That's awesome. That's so cool. And that's the power of these questions, ladies and gentlemen. They seem awkward to ask because we've never asked them before. But I promise you, if you want answers you've never had before, you got to ask questions you've never asked before. They're just good. It's like using great bait. That was the other thing. Oscar, who's a family friend for 20 plus years, caught 4 little bass yesterday, and they had them. They ate them. We need to thin the pond out a little bit, and caught a couple of brim, and they were eating. So I know. Listen, God forbid something goes sideways. I got fish. Michelle will have to learn how to eat fish. We'll have to do a lot of frying of fish. But I got food. I got water, and y'all come on. All right, my eagles. I love you tons. I appreciate you. Keep tuned to the different chat channels and the Facebook, and we'll figure out how to let you know when Lily or Nola is having their baby, and Bunny is just becoming a little terror of her own. I can't wait for her to have little friends to play with. So I love you tons. I am your head. Find your opportunity misfit. I will see you all where?
At
At the next event.
I love it, love it, love it. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
What
Right.
We love you, Mark, and some Lydias.
Peace be
Peace
with
be
us.
with us.
Peace be with us. I wonder what the eclipse looked like from where they were sitting. And the eclipse of all eclipses, Jessie Lee Ward.
Bosley.
Bosley.
We love you, girl. All right, everybody, go have some fun. And thank you. Oh, and apologies for last night. I just totally eclipsed out, flaked out, whatever, outed. And yeah, so my apologies. And the eclipse will happen here I think they said 337 years. We'll pass over this exact spot again. So I'll get one every 370 years.
The aliens brought you back.
They did bring me back. Yes, they did.
Awesome.
And they did some probing, mostly in my ear. And so yeah, we're all good. All right, everybody, I love you tons. We will see you tonight, and I will make it tonight at 8 p.m. And we'll do something. We may start the law of attraction, or the laws of success, or something. We'll do something. And we're just weeks away from the event. So there's for those of you coming to the event, I've got some special sessions that we're going to be doing in preparation for arriving here at the ranch, and we'll go from there. So love you tons. See y'all tonight.
Thank you. Have a good day. Love you guys.
Love you all.